As we come back, let us remind you that At the Post Live, Serling on Saratoga is coming to you live from the Parting Glass Pub in downtown Saratoga and is presented by Naira. Wager on Naira.com, Naira's new state-of-the-art wagering interface. And Special Olympics New York. Be a fan. Visit www.specialolympicsnewyork.org. I want to thank, of course, Dallas Stewart and Chad Brown for joining us. I have saved the best for last. I don't even have to say the guy's name, and the place is erupting into applause.
I was just thinking to myself, boy, how do I follow these two guys? But
apparently, you're like the star of the show.
Yeah, well,
I'm giving out money or something?
Brought both my drinks up here, depending on what question you're going to ask me. I'm going to drink this one if it's a tough one, and this one if it's an easy one.
We're going to talk about some really personal stuff.
Oh,
it's not going to be any racing stuff.
All right.
You just had your 5th kid, is that right?
Yes, that's true.
There's no danger of my getting pregnant by sitting next to you or anything, right?
Everyone in the front row is in trouble.
My mother's over there. I just want to make sure I'm not going to have any
pregnancy test when you leave here.
Right. That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That really is great. So, Jeremiah Englehart, you've won 9 races. Is that true? How many races had you won in Saratoga in your life before this meet?
Well, I had 5 last year, and I think I was 0 for 58 since 2003.
You were. That's right. I think I put that stat up once about you being 0 for.
David Grenning always reminds me of that. So wow. I know it was definitely 0 for 58.
Wow, yeah. 0 for 58 is pretty impressive. That's good. So 9 wins. You're looking good for 10. You got 4 days left. I got all the PPs at home. You got it.
I was dying to try to get Neil Allred's Animal Appeal in before the end of the meet. I thought she could definitely be number 10.
Is she still a maiden?
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, she has run more good races at Belmont, setting fast paces and lost. She's a good horse.
Could not wait to get her in here at Saratoga, and I had her in, and she probably would have went off at 3 to 5. And the state vet comes by and comes to look at her, and we bring her out of her stall, and he's like, Jeremiah, you might want to look at this. And I come over, and she's got like a watermelon-sized lump on her knee. I'm like, what happened? She must have just rolled in her stall, banged the knee up, against the wall, and we had to scratch her that day. But she's been training.
She was
great.
a crazy favorite that day.
Yes, yeah. Scratched down like a 5-horse field.
Oh yeah, did Joe Sharp win that with the horse off the claim that day? Yeah, she would never. Yeah. She would have won that race for sure. But 9 wins. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty amazing. So, your father's a trainer, obviously, Chris.
Yes.
And how long has he been training?
Let me see, 1973. I think he graduated in 73, and I think that year as a senior he fudged his license and trained a few horses and
okay, so we're swearing and admitting fraud so far on the show tonight.
You can give me a minute
the last
tonight,
night
don't worry.
So, and you weren't born yet, 73.
76, yeah. I was -3.
Wow, that's impressive. So, you have a brother who's a trainer also, right?
Yes, Jeffrey.
He won a race here at the meet.
Yes, thank you for reminding me of that.
Oh, he beat you?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. That was the race that Eric Cancel rated the speed horse of yours. Yeah. The only time he's done it the whole meet.
It was funny. In the paddock, I said to Eric, I think we're lone speed. Just let him do his thing. Just loose rein him, let him take the lead, and he kind of he doesn't want to run against a bit. And every time I said that, he kept on saying, well, but he can come up from off the pace too. And I'm like, but he's much better if he's on the lead. But he said, well, but he's okay. Come on. I'm like, I should have known that he wanted to do it. But
he broke about a half length in front of the field, and he reined him in.
That's a good time to take a horse.
Yeah, I love that move. That's just I'm really big on jockeys rating speed.
He's an apprentice, Eric.
He's a good rider.
He's got a big future in front of him, and I put him on probation, but I'm ready to ride him again.
He's been sensational. Really, you're ready to bring him back?
Yeah.
Now, was Monster Mash your first win of the meet?
It's
my last winner, actually.
Yeah, it was about a half hour after I had Eli. My 5th kid.
Wow, that's right. Yeah. I sent you a text congratulating for the win, and you sent me pictures.
You want to hear a real funny story?
I'm dying to hear.
Okay.
You guys want to hear a funny story?
We're in the delivery room, and my wife is she's about ready to give birth, and she wants the epidural, and the doctors are late getting the epidural, and finally comes in, gets the epidural, and there's like 45 minutes probably before the race, and I'm like, okay, at least we can get it, have the baby before the race, and she's getting the epidural, and all the women out there will attest to this. And she's like, the baby's coming. And I'm like, what? You have a needle in your back. You can't, give birth right now. You have to get the epidural first. So she's like, no, the baby's coming. And the 2 epidural doctors like, oh, no, we don't want this. And they pulled the epidural out, and they laid her down. And now I'm starting to get a little, I was fine with the first well, 3 kids. I wasn't there for the 4th one, but I was there in the delivery room.
Aqueduct in the inner.
Actually, Saratoga.
At least it's really important.
Right, exactly. So they finally get her down, and sure enough, the baby comes out. The cord's wrapped around its neck twice, and its head's purple. And I'm like, now I'm purple or white, and I see everyone frantically running around the room, and I'm starting to get lightheaded. So I go, I need to get out of the room, and I walked out because I thought I was going to faint. And sure enough, I saw 2 nurses coming towards me, like, son, you don't look very good. I'm like, all I could think about was saying was like, big guy's going down, big guy's going down, and I almost collapsed right there. But after about a gallon of grape juice, I got back into it and watched Monster Mash win about 20 minutes later.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that was almost exciting, probably as the kid being born. Getting up the wire, to win.
Yeah, I won't tell Jax that though.
Yeah, well, you'll remember that. The Monster Mash will always be kind of a special horse. The horse that won right after your kid was born. So your dad was training at Finger Lakes at the time when you were a kid?
Yes, yeah. I was. I grew up at Finger Lakes. We spent some winters down in New York. And Penn National, all over the East Coast, but yeah, mainly just Finger Lakes.
And is your family still in Rochester, or are they down in?
Yeah, basically all of them except my brother Jesse lives in Poughkeepsie. Yeah, so everyone's still around the Finger Lakes area.
Around Rochester, that area. Yeah. So what about you? Are you living in Long Island? Do you have a place up in Rochester? Because you do run a lot of horses at Finger Lakes, is that true?
Oh, yeah. I have 60 horses stabled at Finger Lakes. I love to train there. We got a swimming pool, Eurosizer. We can do a lot of stuff, to get horses off the track. But my routine is I spend 4 or 5 days at Finger Lakes, and then I'll, travel down to Long Island for 2 or 3 days. I got an apartment there, so I'll stay there and, head back to Finger Lakes.
So back and forth every week?
Every week.
Wow.
That's the biggest thing to me is being able to get to see the horses every week. So, and seeing how they're training, how they are on the track, and what they're doing in the barn, it's pretty important.
Now, what about the winter? Because are they open? Are the barns open in the winter?
No. I'm just.
So are you in New York most of the winter, or you go back and forth to see the family?
I kind of keep the same schedule, but when I'm at Finger Lakes, I'm more of at-home dad, and kind of just in touch with the barn while I'm at home. There's no horses at the track. Then I go to the farm. We'll probably turn out about 20, 30 horses at the farm.
Okay, so it's a family farm, or?
No, I outsource it to Ontiora Farm. My dad has a farm, and I remember my brother and I going to the farm at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning before school, and I told myself then I'm never going to own a farm, so because I hated it then, and I didn't look forward to it now. So.
Well, now that you got the 5 kids, you probably want to spend a lot more time with us in New York during the winter, right?
That's what my wife thinks. Right? Actually, I had all these kids because I need labor. I figured that's why my dad had me and the 5 kids behind me. So
it's working out very well. It's a very good idea. So how old's the oldest?
The oldest is 5, just turned 5.
And he or she?
Yeah. It's a she.
Does she know she'll be working the track?
Well, she wants to.
Really?
Yeah.
She wants to now?
Yeah.
Really? Well, you've had them here, actually. I think a couple of your kids have been at the show, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Those are Chris Dunn's kid that I had here a couple weeks ago.
He's one of your owners, right?
Yeah.
I recognize
He's my best friend.
Really? Not anymore. So I think a lot of people noticed your name became more mainstream when King Creesa and Ria Antonia when they won. Those horses in the King Creesa, you almost beat Wise Dan here a couple of years ago in the 4-Star Dave, and Ria Antonia placed first in the Breeders' Cup. Those wins must have meant a lot to you. I imagine they really raised your profile.
Yeah, starting with King Creesa when he ran in the 4-Star Dave against Wise Dan. I'm such a big fan of racing, and just to have the opportunity to run against Wise Dan and for him to run as good as he did, that was pretty special to me. And then obviously the Breeders' Cup win. I never, as a kid growing up, you watch those races on TV and never dreamed that I would ever win one. And I didn't care that I got put up. It didn't matter to me.
They gave you the trophy. You got paid.
Yes, exactly.
So did winning those races help you get more owners and give you a little bit more of a higher profile?
Yeah, they definitely did. I still get that kind of mystique where he's a Finger Lakes trainer, so he might not be on the big circuit. But I do the same thing as other trainers do. I travel and I like to keep it at 2 different strings. That's why Finger Lakes and the New York circuit kind of works for me, because I can go back and forth, and I have the New York breds and stuff like that. But they definitely helped. I think when I first started in New York, I had 6 horses, stabled there, and I think this fall we're going to have right around 35 stabled there this fall. So.
Well, how many years has it been? from there to
This
here
is
now?
my first year full-time in New York was 2012, so
Wow.
3 years, yeah.
Well, that's a huge jump. That's pretty. You've only been in New York 3 years?
Yeah.
No wonder I didn't know you before then.
Yeah, I'm surprised you know me now.
Well,
If it wasn't for my big mouth.
listen, let me tell you, the way I'm doing, I'm lucky anybody's talking to me. So, winning in Saratoga, how much more special is it than anywhere else?
Well, considering the fact I never won in Saratoga,
Right.
it's really special. But, I remember I was a kid. I was probably around 10 or 12 years old, and Easy Goer was my favorite horse of all time. And I remember I was with my cousins, and we made a trip up to Saratoga. We come up here once or twice a year, with the family, and we were from Finger Lakes, running, $5,000 claimers. At that time, it was probably $2,500 claimers.
Right, yeah.
And I remember, I'm not sure if it was Buzzy, if it was someone else, but they took us into the barn and showed us Easy Goer and stuff like that. And just seeing stuff like that as a kid, I mean, I was always a fan first, and then even now, when American Pharaoh came here last week.
See him?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Everybody went to see him, right?
Yeah, but I saw him after the Preakness. We snuck in backside and got to pet him and stuff like that.
It's not that hard to
Took
get
a
back
selfie.
there. You really let sneak in
Yeah.
the hotel, right? There's a lot of security there.
I know. I just go, hey, buddy, how you doing? Yeah, they let me in.
He seems like amazing American Fair. Nothing seems to faze him.
No.
It's an amazing horse. You've got a horse in the Spinaway.
Yes, Anna Ray.
Anna Ray. Name for your daughter.
Yeah, 2 daughters. My daughter Anna, my daughter Raylyn.
The good news is she can't do worse than the horse that Chad named for his daughter that ran today.
Chad called me this morning and wanted some naming tips on young horses. I'm just kidding, he didn't.
We wish you luck with her in the Spinaway.
Thank you.
Jeremiah, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Andy.
Congratulations. A great meet in Saratoga.
Thank you very
great
much.
summer. Thanks for joining us. Stay with us. We come right back. At the Post Live is brought to you by Timeform US. Visit timeformus.com, the site for the modern horse player.